She used to say it so casually, like it was just a passing excuse. I don't have time. 3 words that started to echo in my mind louder than anything else. At first, I believed her. I mean, we all get busy, right? Work, friends, errands. But when the person you love starts treating you like a slot on their to-do list, it starts to rot something inside you. My name's Ryan. We've been married for 7 years. The first 3 were everything I thought marriage was supposed to be. Laughter, late-night talks, small surprises. Then, somewhere between promotions, deadlines, and social media filters, I started disappearing from her life. Not physically, but emotionally. She'd say, "Not tonight, Ryan. I've got an early meeting." Or, "Can we skip dinner? I've got calls to finish." Every time, she'd smile as if that made the distance softer. But it didn't. The irony? I was working just as hard, but I never missed a chance to show up for her. Birthdays, anniversaries, small gestures. She was my priority. I was her convenience. It hit me one night when I came home early. The table was set for 1. Mine. She'd left a note on the counter. "Got delayed again. Don't wait up." I stared at it for a while, then threw it in the trash. Something shifted that night. The next morning, over coffee, she asked casually, "Can you transfer some money for the weekend? I'm planning to go shopping with Mia." I looked at her, really looked, and said, "I don't have money." She blinked, confused. "What? Since when?" I just shrugged. "Guess I've been too busy to make it." Her silence was sharp, but I didn't flinch. For years, I'd been buying her time with my patience. Now, I wanted to see how she handled scarcity, not of money but of effort. The first week, she brushed it off. "Fine, I'll just use my card." The second week, she started to notice. "Ryan, the bills are stacking up." I nodded, sipping my coffee. "Yeah, time's been tight lately." That word, time, started haunting her now. Every time she heard it, she'd flinch the way I used to when she said she was busy. It was poetic in a cold way. I wasn't cruel. I still spoke politely, still did my chores, still played the part. But the warmth was gone. I stopped texting her from work, stopped asking how her day was. I even stopped planning our weekends, the same way she stopped caring about mine. One Friday evening, she came home looking tired, frustrated. She dropped her bag on the counter and sighed. "You've changed, Ryan." I almost laughed. "You just noticed?" She crossed her arms. "You're distant, cold. You barely talk anymore." I leaned back on the couch and looked her in the eye. "You mean like you did? When I try to talk and you were always too busy?" Her lips trembled, but she said nothing. She just stood there, searching for something to throw back at me. I could see the realization in her eyes, the mirror she didn't want to look into. That night, she tried to make small talk. Asked if I wanted to watch a movie together. I said, "Can't. Got some work to finish." The same line she'd thrown at me for years. And I meant it, not because I was busy, but because I wanted her to feel the chill of her own indifference. By the end of that week, she stopped asking. The house grew quiet, not angry quiet, but empty quiet, like we both knew something had cracked beyond repair. The silence became our routine. We moved around the same house like 2 polite strangers, careful not to bump into each other, careful not to feel. Every now and then, she'd try to break it with small gestures. Cooking my favorite meal, leaving a note, asking if I wanted to go out. But it all felt rehearsed, too late, too hollow. She had time now, more than enough. But I didn't have the heart to spend it with her anymore. One Sunday morning, she sat across from me at the breakfast table. Her eyes looked tired, softer somehow. "Ryan," she said quietly, "I know I messed up. I didn't realize how much I'd been taking you for granted. I kept my eyes on the newspaper. Takes time to realize that, doesn't it?" She flinched again. "Can we just start over?" Start over. Those words used to mean hope. Now they just sounded like a sale pitch after the store's been burned down. I looked at her, really looked. She wasn't the same woman I married, not because she changed, but because I had. The man who once waited for her attention was gone. I'd stopped needing validation from someone who only showed up when she needed something. You always said you didn't have time, I said softly. Now I finally understand. You didn't mean you were busy. You meant I wasn't worth the time. Tears welled in her eyes. That's not true, Ryan. I just lost track. I interrupted, calm but firm. And I lost respect. Guess we're even. She looked down, whispering, "What happened to us?" I smiled faintly. You treated love like an option. I learned to treat money the same way. That line landed heavier than I expected. Her lips parted as if to say something, but nothing came out. The moment stretched between us, full of everything we'd both avoided saying for years. Over the next few weeks, she tried harder. Cooked dinner, canceled outings, even left her phone aside when I walked in. But it didn't move me. You can't restart a fire after you've poured enough cold water on it. You can light a new one, but not in the same ashes. One night, she came to my study door and stood there quietly. "Ryan, are you happy now? Punishing me like this?" I closed my laptop and looked at her. "This isn't punishment, Claire. It's balance." She blinked, confused. "You taught me that love is a transaction. You give time, I give effort. You withdraw attention, I withdraw support. I'm just learning your rules." Her eyes filled again. "That's not what I wanted." I nodded. "Neither did I." That was the last real conversation we had. After that, things just faded. She started spending more time at her sister's. I stopped asking where she went. It wasn't anger anymore, just indifference. And indifference is colder than hate. A few months later, she moved out. No fight, no argument. Just a quiet goodbye and a half-empty closet. I stood in the doorway as she left, not out of guilt but closure. She turned once, her eyes searching mine for something. Regret, affection, maybe forgiveness. I didn't have any left to give. The first week alone felt strange, almost hollow. But then came peace. Real, unbothered peace. I realized how much noise she'd brought into my life. Not loud noise, but the kind that hums under your skin, draining you slowly. Now, when people ask if I'm okay, I tell them the truth. I'm better. I don't chase people who claim to have no time. I don't pour into cups that never refill. Last week, Claire texted me. Just a simple line, "Do you ever miss us?" I stared at it for a minute, then typed back, "I don't have time." And for the first time, those words didn't sting. They felt like freedom.